In the words of Mark Howard, Jasprit Bumrah built the man a statue. I mean, Sanju Samson did get Man of the Match award, and we'll get to him in a bit. But my God, what quality from Bumrah in a game that went for nearly 500 runs. This man goes at 8.25 and picks up the crucial wicket of Harry Brooks. So, what a guy, Ayaz.
Well, absolutely. I think his genius is now undoubted. Uh, Accolades and kudos are pouring in from everywhere. I read somewhere or I saw it on social media. Somebody mentioning that Jasprit Bumrah has already become the Don Bradman of bowling, and there can't be bigger praise than that. So yes, I mean when you look at the match in retrospect, the turning point, I see two turning points. One is of course Harry Brook dropping Sanju Samson when he was 15 or 16, and that proved very costly when you look back. But of course, England did put up a massive chase and a mighty chase and a fantastic chase. And then to fall 7 runs short, you have to see where they fell short. And that comes from Bumrah's, the second last and the last over that he bowled, gave away too few runs. In a match where everybody else has gone for more than 10, 11, even 13, 14 runs in their 4 overs, here's this man who's gone for 8.25 or 8.50 or something like that, which is extraordinary. And it's not just one match. It's not a flash in the pan performance, Anirudh, as you know. It's been happening repeatedly in series after series, in tournament after tournament, maybe for the last couple of years at least, which gives Jasprit Bumrah, in my opinion, a place on the highest pedestal where bowlers will be ranked or rated.
Yeah, and let's also talk about Sanju Samson. Of course, he did win Man of the Match award, and he does it again for India in back-to-back knockout games. And but remember that it wasn't only him; there were other performances also. Most importantly, I would say insane catching by Axar Patel. Hardik Pandya was good with bat and ball, and Tilak Verma made a quick fire 2021. So overall, a good day, barring again Abhishek Sharma and Varun Chakravarthy fail again, which in cricketing terms, I think Abhishek will score 100 in the final and Varun will get a fifer. But overall, a good day for India.
Absolutely fantastic. Then I'm glad that you mentioned the other performers because obviously Sanju Samson because of the knock that he's played. And remember, this guy who was originally in the playing 11 was dumped after a while because he wasn't getting the runs. He's come back and now he's the poster boy of India's batting. You know how things can turn around in a couple of weeks. So he's got a 97 unbeaten against West Indies. He's got 89 or 90 here. This is an incredible performance. But credit to Sanju. I was at the press conference at the 1KD where he came. He's a man with, he bears his responsibility or his star status very lightly. And he mentioned also that the guy who deserved the man of the match more than him was Jasprit Bumrah. It takes a lot to say it. It shows the kind of mental frame that he is in. But also what he mentioned, Tilak Verma's 21, 7 ball, 21, 3 sixes in an over. You take away one stroke from that and you have a tight match. You take away 2 strokes and India have lost. Then you look at Akshar Patel's catches that he took, especially the one of Will Jacks. I think that was in many ways another turning point of the match. So I think that yes, there are some obvious failures in that match, Abhishek Sharma and Varun Chakravarthy. But overall, when you look at India's performance, it's not only about Sanju Samson, Jasprit Bumrah, Hardik Pandya, and nobody else. It's almost like a jigsaw puzzle which has fallen perfectly into place. Yes, there are a few who didn't perform as much as expected, but hey, cricket being what it is, the kind of uncertain sport, who knows that they may be in the final on Sunday.
Yeah, and let's also talk about England, who did make a match of it and ended up, as you said, only lost by 7 runs. And what a tremendous innings by the young Jacob Bethleas.
Absolutely. He's had a wonderful 3, 4 months. If you remember, he had a very good Ashes series also. He made a century there. He's clearly emerging as the golden boy of English cricket now in a space of 5, 6 months. That accolade belonged to Harry Brook, who's also extremely good. So you've got a clutch of players in England also who are in that age group in the mid 20s now or early 20s or who are looking at playing the game in a very different manner. So in some sense they are plugged into baseball, if I might put it that way. Uh, but I think, somewhere they were perhaps inconsistent in the field. Harry Brook dropping a catch, a little untidy in the ground fielding. I thought Jofra Archer and the fast bowlers had an off day, which otherwise could have helped England control India to 256, 250, below 250. But having chased that in this manner, despite losing Salt, Butler, and Harry Brook very early on, shows that there is a lot more metal in this England team that one imagined there was.
Yeah, and finally, how do you see the final shaping up now?
Look, I think New Zealand have been a very good team. When they reached the last four, it seemed that they were the weakest of the four teams. Because they had not had a great campaign till then. I mean, they did extremely well. One match was rained off against Pakistan. Then they lost one match, but they seem to have all the resources necessary to compete with India. In fact, if anything, I think they have a slightly better bowling attack because Mitch Santner's come along well. Rachin Ravindra is bowling very well. Glenn Phillips can be trusted. I mean, he's a brilliant fielder, perhaps the fielder of the tournament. And they've got the, it's a very fearsome opening duo that they've got. So India need have their task cut out because in the power play they need to get Finn Allen, Tim Seifert, maybe both of them early enough. Otherwise, those guys can cause mayhem. So I think it's set up for a wonderful climax to this tournament.
Yeah, and what a tournament it has been. So, as I said, the final is on Sunday. We'll come back to you after that. And I also want to plug our new show, See It Beyond the Scoreboard, in which Ayaz, it's a podcast series in which Ayaz sits down with someone special from the cricketing world to peel back the curtain on the sport we love. And the first episode is with one of India's finest broadcasters, Jatin Sapru, which will be out on a channel in a couple of hours. So, please do check that. And that's it for this episode of Sports Room. See you next time.
Thanks, Anirudh. We'll catch up.
Thank you.
Enjoy the final. Thank
Yeah.
you.